Hello, my students. Welcome again. Today, we would be continuing with the lesson, The Diary of a Young Girl and Frank. So, today in this video lesson, we would be continuing from August 1942, okay? Which you will find it in page number 160. So, here, let us begin. So, we have seen that Anne and her family, they are in the hiding, like they are in the annex that is in the building, they are hiding. Now let us continue. The Van Dans arrived 14 August 1942. The Van Dans arrived on 13 July. Peter Van Dan, who was a boy, okay? He was a 16-year-old boy who was shy and awkward. 7 of them eat their meals together like a family. Now, so it has, with the arrival of the Dance family, the total member has gone to 7. They ate their meal together just like a family. Friday, 21st August 1942, Mr. Kreller, a friend of Mr. Frank and Mr. Van Den, suggested that it would be better to have a bookcase or shelf. Now here, I want you to correct the word shelf as shelf, okay? Bookshelf. Built in front of the entrance to the hiding place, so that no one could sense that there was a door behind the bookcase. So here, Mr. Kreller suggested Anne's father and Mr. Van Den that they build a bookcase, okay, in front of the hiding door, in front of the hiding place where they were hiding inside their room, so that nobody would come to know that there is a room that leads to the door. Anne was not happy with her mother, as she always treated her like a baby. So here, Anne, she did not like her mother. Now the reason, we will know the reason why. Why? Because her mother always treated Anne like a baby, even though she was a girl. She was already 12 years old, but still her mother was treating her just like a baby. Regarding Peter, Anne said that he was an obnoxious, very, here the meaning of obnoxious means a very unpleasant, okay? Someone who don't have a very pleasing personality. So Sam was an obnoxious boy who remained in his bed all day except some carpentry work. So this, according to Anne, he found this boy boring because whole day he used to stay in his room, in his bed, and sometimes, only sometimes, he would wake up that also he would be busy, engaged in his carpentry work. Monday, 21st September 1942. Anne was very unhappy with Mrs. Van Den, as she had been continually scolding her for her talkativeness. Now here, Anne, she started disliking Mrs. Van Den, that is the mother of Peter, because what happened when Mrs. Van Den always kept on scolding Anne, okay? Because as we know, Anne was a very talkative girl. She had begun her school and was working hard at French. Anne's father wanted Anne to help Peter with his Dutch lessons. Mrs. Van Den was very cautious to see Anne's diary entries, but every time she managed to escape. Sunday, 27th September 1942. Anne was quite disturbed with her mother. She felt that she was a stranger to her mom, but very comfortable with her father. So here, there's a strange relationship between Anne's mother and between Anne to her mother and Anne to her father. Because according to Anne, she finds her mother very strange. Okay, like she finds that her mother was not close to her, but at the same time, she was very comfortable with her father. She mentioned that Mrs. Van Den had been complaining about her, and she even considered her as a spoiled child. So Anne's mother, she was complaining, okay, that Mrs. Van Den used to complain about Anne, and also even her mother considered Anne as a spoiled child. Tuesday, 29 September 1942. There was no bathroom in the sacred annex, So they managed to take bath in different places. So in the annex, in the building, there was no separate bathrooms. Okay, they had no bathrooms to take bath. So the members in the annex, they had to take bath in different places wherever they find. Okay, wherever they find comfortable. Peter in office kitchen, Mrs. Venten asked upstairs, Mrs. Van Mr. Venten upstairs. Mrs. Venten was waiting for the best place. Father in the private office, mother in the kitchen behind a screen, Margaret and Anne in the front office. Now, this was the room located for taking bath, okay, for the family, for the family members, as I have mentioned. So Margaret and Anne, they got the front office for making it as a bathing place. Thursday, 1st October 1942, Anne got a terrible shock as there was a doorbell at night. She thought that someone was coming to get them or to arrest them, but nothing was of that sort. She said that Peter and she had one thing in common, okay, and that was both of them like to dress up. So both of the Peter, even though Anne doesn't like Peter, but they had one thing in common. They share same thing in common, that is to dress up nicely whenever they got a chance. Okay. Friday, 9th October 1942. Anne was disturbed because many of the Jewish people were taken away to the concentration camp in Westerbork. It was assumed that all were killed with gas. So one day, and she was very disturbed when she received the news that all her Jewish people, okay, were arrested and sent to the concentration camp at Westerbork. And it was assumed that all the members who were arrested were already killed, in the concentration camp with poisonous gases. Okay. Monday, 9th November 1942. She added that it was Peter's birthday the day before and they had a small celebration. Mr. Van Den reported that English had landed in Tunis, Algiers, Casablanca, and Iran, which gave them some hope. Now the Allies, okay, the Allies. You remember, like when we were doing with the World War II, we had the Allies on one side, right? Now here, there was some hope. This family, they got some hope when they learned that the English people had landed in these places. Regarding food, Anne shared that bread was delivered Delhi. They had bought 300 pounds of bean and some other stuff to do. That is for their Delhi food. So